Excuse me, sir? I have an extra mushroom if you'd like to try. Free of charge, of course.
We don't eat the mushroom, right?
Huh? Of course we eat the mushroom.
When filmmaking with stable diffusion models, we must be constantly asking ourselves how to achieve shots that in traditional filmmaking would be quite obvious. We have an empty frame, and a character enters it. We have a tracking shot that follows a character around a corner, revealing a new location. We have a character who starts off doing this, but at the end of the shot is doing that. Easy, right? But when you enter the mind of an AI filmmaker, you quickly realize that no, it's not so easy. The single image and prompt workflow doesn't quite cut it for what is demanded to create a flowing and natural scene for film. After all, how with a single starting frame could you accomplish having your character walk into the scene like this? You simply can't. That is why today we'll be talking about the many use cases for keyframe workflows, or as we often call them, first frame, last frame workflows.
And as for the inevitable question of why I don't use LTX Director, you can pause and read the note scrolling on your screen right now for my reasons. In short, great node, bad results. Now, on to the workflow. First things first, we need to select what kind of starting input we want. This can either be video or a still image. Same thing goes for our ending input choice. In this case, we demonstrate the simplest and most common use of a first frame, last frame setup, a starting image and an ending image. Next, we decide our keyframe strength values. This is a decimal number between 0 and 1 that determines how creative LTX is allowed to be with each keyframe. A low value means LTX has license to fudge some details in order to progress the transition between keyframes. A high value means LTX will prioritize the integrity of the keyframe, sometimes at the cost of transition, leading to nasty jump cuts and still images and the like. In this case, 0.8 strength for both is fine, since our shot is a simple enough transition for LTX to understand while maintaining high visual keyframe fidelity. After that, we write a simple prompt describing the motion that leads from our starting input to our ending input. The use of LLMs to generate long prompts for LTX, especially in the case of first frame, last frame, is completely unnecessary. As long as you have solid input keyframes and a simple prompt, LTX will usually be able to understand how one could flow into the other. In the last setup steps, we use the slider to select video length, set the audio handling options that we want, and then make sure finish mode is turned off, since that's the option that will take a selected stage 1 latent to finalization. Right now, all we want to do is see what the 3 seed hunting stage 1 samples look like. As the third option finishes, I decide I like the motion of sample gen number 1 best, so I drag the selection slider above to 1, and then to the right of that, I enable finish mode. I then click the manual random seed button associated with stage 2, and off we go. When stage 2 finishes, I see that the gen is coming along nicely, and I let it continue to stage 3, which will be 1080p. If I saw something I didn't like in the stage 2 preview, I could cancel the gen and then click manual random seed to try again and get a new variant. If you saw my first video, I call this technique multi-roll, and describe it like panning for gold in a river with a sieve. With multi-roll, you can re-roll stage 2 and stage 3 as many times as you like, hunting for the best possible output. Each stage builds iteratively on the last. As stage 3 finishes, we see our finalized render, and it looks great. So now you might be wondering, if the whole first frame last frame gen was getting Princess Peach to walk into the frame, how did you make it so the video continues on and she speaks as the camera zooms in? Here's where we level up our skills as filmmakers and add a crucial tool to our belts, making our last gen the starting input for a new gen. We can extend our shots seamlessly and guide them towards a new final frame. Much like we iteratively built our individual gens using stages, we can now build longer scenes in stages too. Using this method, you can have an entire short film be one continuous shot from the perspective of the viewer. After loading an input video, we want to select the last 0.5 seconds to 2 seconds of our video. The more frames you give LTX, the more reference context it will have for the continued motion and visual coherence of the gen. But at the same time, the gen's length will have to be longer to accommodate for all the extra keyframes already being injected into the latent. It's a balancing act, but 33 frames, or roughly 1 second of our video, is a great starting point. The last step is to make sure your ending image, or ending video, can logically be transitioned into from your starting video. Otherwise, you might get weird transitions or jump cuts. Everything else, though, is the same as what we did before. After we have our continuation gen, we need to now merge them together. This is where a good video editor comes into the picture. You, as a content creator, owe it to yourself to get comfortable with a quality video editor like DaVinci Resolve. It is free, and knowing how to use it even on a basic level will drastically increase the quality of your results, far more than if you tried to do this whole thing all as a single segment gen using LTX Director or some video stitching node. Because both the first gen and this second continuation gen have the same overlapping 33 frames, it's easy to find where they connect together and blend them in a video editor timeline. Afterwards, we can merge the clips and add subtle zooms, camera shake, lighting effects, blur effects, color changes, you name it. This is critical if you want polished results. There will be a future video, trust me, all about the amazing tips and tricks I've learned for video editing and audio mastering in DaVinci Resolve to bring your LTX gens to the next level. But for now, that's my brief primer on first frame, last frame use cases. My Seed Hunter multi-role first frame last frame workflow is linked in the description, as well as my Patreon, which is free to join and gets you access to all this content earlier than I release it to other platforms such as YouTube. Please consider subscribing here and there to support what I do. Furthermore, I do provide one-on-one coaching at a pretty inexpensive rate for those who want a dedicated hands-on lesson on any topic related to AI filmmaking. My Patreon has a tier-level subscription for this coaching option, or you can reach out to me directly here, on Reddit, or on Discord for more information. All of my contact information is in the description of this video.